Long ago, our planet went through extreme cold periods called ice ages. At least twice in Earth's history, ice covered almost the entire world, from the North Pole all the way to the equator. The Earth looked like one giant snowball. Today, things are very different. The climate is warming, the ice is melting faster each year, and scientists are asking an important question. What has been hidden under all that ice for so long? Greenland is home to the second largest ice sheet on Earth. In some places, this ice is nearly 2 miles thick and covers about 80% of the island. Some glaciers, like Jakobshavn Glacier, move incredibly fast, up to 150 feet every day. Along the coast, huge icebergs break off and rise about 300 feet above the water, almost as tall as the Statue of Liberty. But the real mystery of Greenland is not just its size or its ice. It is what lies beneath. Even though Greenland is more than 3 times larger than Texas, only about 56,000 people live there. That makes it one of the least crowded places on Earth. Most of the island is too cold for people to live. However, the southwest coast is warmer because of the Gulf Stream, which brings heat from the Atlantic Ocean. About 1/3 of Greenland's people live in this milder area. In the center of the island, temperatures stay below freezing all year. Snow never fully melts there. Instead, it builds up layer by layer. Fresh snow starts out soft and light, but as more snow falls on top, the weight presses down on the older layers. Over time, the snow becomes packed tightly together. At depths greater than 260 feet, the air trapped inside can no longer be squeezed, and the snow turns into solid, clear ice. Altogether, Greenland holds around 695,000 cubic miles of ice. Some of it has been there for hundreds of thousands, maybe even millions of years. Yet, Greenland was not always frozen. Beneath the thick ice is a massive rocky island that was once full of life. Long ago, it had rivers, valleys, and lakes. Plants and animals thrived there. Even today, a small part of Greenland remains green. In the far south lies the Chingwa Valley, the only natural forest on the island. As global temperatures rise, this green area could slowly spread, bringing plant life back to other regions. In 1966, US military scientists drilled almost a mile down through the ice in northwestern Greenland. What they discovered changed how we see the island's past. Deep under the frozen surface, they found twigs, leaves, and perfectly preserved fossil plants. Scientists say they look freeze-dried. If you add water, the leaves can even unfold, almost as if they were frozen only yesterday. Around 400,000 years ago, parts of Greenland looked very different from today. Instead of endless ice, there were spruce forests and wide tundra plains. Tundra is a cold, flat land with no trees, but it still supports tough, low plants that survive strong winds and freezing weather. Today, all of this is locked under thick ice like a natural time capsule. The ice sheet acts like a giant blanket. It protects the ground below from the freezing air and harsh winds above. At the same time, heat from deep inside the Earth slowly warms the land from underneath. In the middle of Greenland, the ice is so thick that it is frozen solid to the ground. This keeps it stable. But near the edges, where the ice is thinner, the base has melted in some places. There, the ice sits on wet soil. If enough water builds up underneath, it works like oil under a machine, helping the ice slide faster toward the ocean. The faster it moves, the faster it can melt. Right now, Greenland loses more than 200 billion tons of ice every year. That is enough water to fill about 91 million Olympic swimming pools. If all of Greenland's ice were to melt, sea levels around the world would rise by about 23 feet. This would flood many coastal cities and harm millions of people. A 2019 study found that about 680 million people live in low coastal areas. By 2050, that number could grow to more than 1 billion. Even though the ice sheet is shrinking, it is still massive. Its weight is so great that it has pushed the center of Greenland about 1,000 feet below sea level. This has happened before. About 20,000 years ago, during the last ice age, huge ice sheets covered large parts of the planet. Areas like Scandinavia, the Arctic, and much of the United States and Canada were buried under ice. You can imagine Earth's surface like a memory foam mattress. When you press down on it, it sinks. When you remove the weight, it slowly rises back up. In the same way, as ice melts, the land underneath begins to lift. At the same time, nearby regions may sink. This process is very slow. Some places are still rising today, while areas like the east coast of the United States are expected to keep sinking for thousands of years. Because of this movement, some regions face an even greater risk from rising sea levels. Even though Greenland today is mostly white and frozen, scientists have found clues about what lies beneath. In 2013, researchers discovered a huge hidden canyon under the ice. It stretches more than 460 miles long, about 6 miles wide, and around 2,600 feet deep. That makes it more than 1.5 times longer than the Grand Canyon. You can't see it from above, but deep under Greenland lies a giant canyon. It is buried under billions of tons of ice. Long ago, this hidden canyon was likely carved by a huge river. About 2 million years ago, powerful floods pushed water through solid rock, slowly cutting a deep path into the land.
Even today, this canyon still plays a role. Melted water from the ice sheet can travel through it, flowing far below the surface and eventually reaching the sea. Greenland once had a massive lake as well. It covered an area as large as Rhode Island and Delaware combined. At least 18 streams fed into it, and in some places, it reached depths of 800 feet. Now that lake is gone. In its place is a low basin filled with layers of dirt and rock. These layers hold clues from a time when water, not ice, shaped the land. Over many years, scientists used ice-penetrating radar to scan below the surface. What they found was surprising. Beneath the ice is a hidden world of mountains and deep valleys. Some peaks rise thousands of meters high. The sharp ridges and deep cuts in the land guide the ice above them. The ice sheet is not flat underneath. It follows the shape of the mountains below. There are also deep underwater valleys called fjords. These long, narrow channels were carved by glaciers over time. Some are hundreds or even thousands of meters deep. Today, they act like highways, guiding icebergs out into the ocean. Greenland's glaciers are always moving. Where they go and how fast they move depends on the mountains hidden below. These mountains act like barriers, pushing and steering the ice in different directions. But Greenland's frozen ground does not only hide stories of the past, it may also hold valuable resources. Studies suggest that rare earth elements and precious metals are buried in the bedrock. Minerals like neodymium, dysprosium, and europium are important for modern electronics, wind turbines, electric cars, and other high-tech tools. There may also be gold, silver, and platinum beneath the ice. And then there is water, an enormous amount of it. The ice sheets of Greenland and Antarctica together store more than 68% of the world's fresh water. Greenland may also have strong potential for geothermal energy. This type of energy uses heat from deep inside the Earth. In some parts of Greenland's west coast, heat flow is 3 times higher than the island's average. Unlike fossil fuels, geothermal power creates very little pollution. One day, this natural heat could help provide clean energy. All of this makes Greenland more than just a frozen island. It is a place full of hidden riches and natural wonders. In 2010, scientists found something strange under the ice. At first, they thought the shapes were ghost mountains, similar to one seen in Antarctica. But later, they realized they were different. These strange forms are called jelly roll structures. Some are as tall as skyscrapers in Manhattan, and there are dozens of them. These huge shapes are made of a special kind of ice. Instead of flat layers stacked on top of each other, the ice is twisted and folded, almost like it has been rolled up. Some of it may be as old as 120,000 years old. Using radar, scientists discovered that Greenland is not simply made of neat, even layers like a cake. As you look deeper below the surface, those layers begin to bend, curve, and twist. Deep under the surface, the ice does not sit in neat, flat layers. It looks twisted and folded, almost like cloth that has been pushed and squeezed many times.
There's a complex scientific reason for this, but the basic idea is simple. Sometimes the bottom of the ice sheet melts slightly because of heat from the Earth. Then it freezes again. When it refreezes, it adds new ice to the bottom layer. Think of building a sandcastle. When you pour wet sand into a bucket, the sand at the bottom becomes firm and holds everything up. In a similar way, refrozen ice builds up from below. Over hundreds or even thousands of years, this process creates thick, bent, and folded patterns under what looks like a smooth white surface. But beneath all that ice lies something far older than the ice sheet itself. Long before humans existed, back when Greenland was covered in lush forests and had a much warmer climate, an asteroid about 0.9 miles wide slammed into the island. The impact was unbelievably powerful, millions of times stronger than an atomic bomb. It likely caused earthquakes as strong as magnitude 9 and set off huge wildfires across the region. This happened long after the dinosaurs were gone, but tens of millions of years before the first humans appeared. The crash left behind a massive scar known as the Hiawatha Crater. The crater is about 19 miles wide and now sits hidden beneath nearly 3,000 feet of ice in northwestern Greenland. Scientists discovered it in 2018. Researchers found clues in the sand and rocks carried by meltwater flowing from under the ice sheet. These materials showed signs of extreme heat, proving they were once part of a violent impact. By studying tiny sand grains, scientists estimated that the asteroid struck about 58 million years ago. Greenland is one of the most remarkable places on Earth. Beneath its frozen surface are records of ancient forests, giant rivers, powerful asteroid strikes, and moving mountains of ice. Yet we have only begun to explore it. In the future, scientists will continue to study this vast and icy land. Who knows what else may be waiting below? New clues about Earth's future, unknown forms of life from the past, or discoveries we cannot even imagine yet. Our planet still holds many secrets. Greenland is proof that even the coldest and quietest places can tell powerful stories. Stay curious and keep exploring the incredible world we call home. And thanks for watching.